Hello, my quilty friends. It's Stacy of Stacy Creates Stuff, and today I am excited to bring you my 2026 Quilt-Along Haven. For the past couple of years, I've been doing a Quilt-Along starting in January, and this year is no exception. This is a 12-week series with a video dropping each Tuesday for the next block or component of the quilt. And there may be a couple of bonus videos along the way, including one coming out later this week that will walk you through the cutting instructions cut by cut. And this week is all about getting started. There are kits available from my favorite quilt shop, Vintage Pink and Green, in 2 different colorways. When you join my Haven mailing list, you will get a downloadable PDF that is the cutting guide and fabric organization guide for this quilt. And after that, you will receive each week's PDF that details the construction of the block or block component for that week. This downloadable Quilt-Along guide is a helpful resource that will facilitate in knowing what to cut, how to organize those fabrics, and what each block will require. Speaking of fabric requirements, this quilt takes 10 fabrics, and the kits that I have available will include 1 yard of each of those 10 fabrics. Here is a breakdown on the fabrics that you will need. So in the blue and green colorway, I have this pop of goldenrod. So that is the accent fabric, if you will. Then I have 2 green fabrics. I'm calling this one a dark green, even though it has a lighter green with a almost navy background. That's serving as my dark. And then a medium, which you can see is sort of a medium dark green to go with that. We then have a dark blue and a medium blue, and you can see they're very similar. I'm just designating those as the colors for that. Then I have 3 teals, and in this case, it doesn't really matter which one I designate as teal 1, 2, or 3. I then have what I'm calling pale green, so it is a nice light color leaning into the green family. And then a fabric that I'm calling white, even though it has a little bit of blue and desaturated blue in there. Let's take a look at the Painted Desert colorway, because this one is a little bit different than the Forest Lake. The Painted Desert still has a white fabric, and all of these are Hoffman fabrics. This is a lovely one with little dots, but it does have some pale green and pink and coral in there, and that is perfect to balance out these very muted tones for the rest of the palette. I then have a very pale fabric that I'm calling blush. Then I have 3 fabrics that serve as my medium light. They are similar in that they are all medium lights, but some have a little bit more vibrancy, some are a little bit more muted. These are going to serve where I used teal in the other colorway. And so I am calling this one Salmon 1, Salmon 2, and Salmon 3. Then we have what are the blues in the Forest Lake, but here are these beautiful deep terracotta rich tones, and I have a dark and a medium dark. I am calling this one Smoky Pink and this one Rust. Kind of looks like rust. Then these 2 are where I have the medium dark greens and the dark green in the other colorway. Here, of course, I have this beautiful leafy fabric that I'm calling terracotta, and this one that I'm calling dark leaves, for lack of a better term. And yes, it has a lot more green in it than it does of the salmony terracotta colors, but that salmon and terracotta are in there, and it's really going to serve as a nice base for where this fabric goes in the quilt. And then my It's not really a pop of color, but it is a nice contrast, and it is a deep, deep blue-green. This fabric does have some of the other greens and that desaturated rust color in here as well. It'll serve as a lovely, lovely contrast just throughout the quilt. So if you are using your own fabrics, you are going to want to keep this in mind. 2 lights, 3 mediums, 4 medium dark to darks, and 1 pop. Now you may have noticed that all of the fabrics that I've chosen for each colorway are batiks. I love working with batiks, and I just think that they add so much to a quilt. So I hope that that gives you some idea if you are going to use your own fabrics. Both of these colorways are available as kits from my favorite quilt shop, Vintage Pink and Green. Links to all the things I've talked about are in the description below. Behind me is 1/4 of the Forest Lake colorway of the Haven quilt. While many of the blocks and border components are beginner friendly, there are several blocks that do use some more intermediate techniques. Because of this, I do not recommend this to be your first quilt. If you are looking for a very beginner friendly quilt, why not check out my previous 2 quilt-alongs, Patching the Hole in the Barn Door and Stars in My Garden. I'll have links to those below. There are a lot of pieces to this quilt, and as such, organization is key. And part of that downloadable quilt-along guide is how to organize all of your fabrics so that you have them for each individual block or border component. One of the great things about my quilt-alongs is that you can work at your own pace. I do drop a new video each week, but you don't have to keep up with my pace. These videos will be available on my YouTube channel a long time into the future. So let's take a quick look at the Haven quilt. Again, this is just 1/4 of the quilt. The finished quilt measures about 72 by 72 inches. And this is the central block. So there is only one of this block, and then from there, other blocks radiate outward. And we make multiple of all the rest of the blocks. Most of the blocks finish at 12 inches, although we do have a couple that finish at 9 inches. And they have an additional sashing and a mini 9 patch to help bring them to the 12-inch finished size. And the border is made up of flying geese, 9 patches, and even a few squares. I hope you'll join me on this adventure. And if you would like a sneak peek at the Painted Desert colorway, be sure to visit my website where I have more information about the quilt-along. Links to all the things I've talked about are in the description below. Until next time, why not check out this?